Alright, what's going on everybody? So I did a video similar to what I'm going to be doing here about Naughty Dog. I want to say a year ago or whatever, and I got to do this about Platinum Games. I feel like I'm very outspoken when it comes to them. Platinum Games, I feel like they're very overrated. In terms of like Nintendo fanboys, they really love them, Nintendo fans and stuff, but I feel like, well actually I would say the industry as a whole, I would say, or at least like these game journalists like IGN and stuff like that, they really overhype Platinum Games. And when it comes to Platinum Games, I feel like they spread themselves too thin. They're a whore gaming company, for lack of a better word. Like they like to whore themselves out. And what I mean by that, like they'll take any type of project. Like they only have, I want to say 211 employees. They're a very small company. They got to keep the lights on, but they'll just take just about any type of project in order to just stay afloat. And it's obvious when you look at their body of work. They have an A team, they have a B team, and then they have a C and D team. It's very clear. When you look at their body of work, starting from 2009, you got Mad World, which was on the Wii. And I guess that game really didn't do well. A lot of games don't really do well. Bayonetta, that came out 2009 also, and that didn't do well also. And I think I've said this in other videos, I feel like their action games and stuff, I feel like just in general, they can't do action games. You know, when you compare something like Bayonetta to like Devil May Cry, when you compare Bayonetta to like Ninja Gaiden, or like old school God of War, not 2018 God of War, well I even say 2018 God of War, I'll say even that. Their action games aren't very good. Like one of my issues with their action games, like I feel like they only have one good game, right? And that one good game is Nier Automata. And I'll keep saying it. Nier Automata is their best game. And I feel like Nier Automata, one of the screams, I would say the best things about Nier Automata, it ain't the combat. It ain't the combat. It is the story. It's the insane and intriguing story, and it's the fact that it combines so many different types of gameplay. There are shoot 'em up sections basically. They're like bullet hell sections in that game. It turns into like a text RPG at one time. Like there's a variety of gameplay in Nier Automata, and between the crazy story, just the writing, I feel like that and like the presentation and stuff, I feel like that is the strength of Nier Automata in comparison to their other games. And you can say, yeah, the presentation of a lot of their games is very spot on. It's very good. But when it comes to gameplay, when it comes to combat, I feel like in a lot of ways, like when I'm just thinking about Bayonetta and Bayonetta 2, when I'm thinking about a lot of their action games, I feel like they could really benefit from restraining themselves when it comes to being flashy. Now I know I kind of complimented their presentation. It's a double-edged sword, really, when it comes to presentation, when it comes to, you know, the particle effects and all the other stuff that they put in there. Their flashiness is a detriment to them at some points, because even in Nier Automata, it got to a point where like I'm doing the combat and stuff, and then like there's just particle effects everywhere. I can't even see what's going on. And, like with Bayonetta 2, I feel like a lot of their action games, it's incomprehensible. Like what the heck is going on? Like with Astral Chain, that game looks like it could be their second best game. It could be their next big thing. I would say the only people that are really checking for Bayonetta are Nintendo fans. Nobody out here realistically, like most people, they're not checking for Bayonetta 3. Just like Bayonetta 2 didn't really sell well. It really didn't when you compare it to other games and stuff. I don't even think it sold well. I don't even think it sold well on its own merits. But Astral Chain, that looks like, I'm not gonna lie, that looks like it could be a really cool game. But when I was first looking at the gameplay, I was like, okay, wait, what is going on here? But I think one of Astral Chain's scrimps is like it has a very cool, for lack of a better word, a cool gimmick going to it. It's got this sort of cyberpunk aesthetic going on with it. Graphically, I feel like one of the things that's kind of hurting this game though, in terms of Astral Chain, I feel like when I was looking at the gameplay, I'm like, yo, how good would this look on a PS4 or Xbox One? Like I feel like it's being held back by the Switch. Almost. Well, not even almost. I feel like it's being held back in terms of presentation. But what could they do if they were working on a better hardware? Because I feel like the presentation, it could really pop more. The graphics can really pop more if it was on a stronger console. I feel like Astral Chain though, forgive me, I don't know all the details of Astral Chain. Like I've seen like 20 minutes of gameplay and everything like that. But I guess they call them Legions, or do they call them Astrals or whatever. But what you're doing with those, with the Astrals or Legions, whatever they call them, how you're like wrapping, how you're able to like wrap around your chain when it comes to like enemies and objects and stuff, you're able to like wrap around them and stuff. Like The gimmick seems cool. I saw where they have like customization and stuff like that. Like it looks like it has a cool premise, seems like a cool story and everything. And it's one of those games that really, I feel like it could be one of those killer apps for the Switch. But just Astral Chain, I feel like that could be their next big game. I'm not putting any, like I wouldn't put any faith, I wouldn't tell anybody to put any faith in Bayonetta 3. Cause those Bayonetta games, like it's just poor man. For me, I feel like Bayonetta 3, I feel like the Bayonetta series is just a poor man's Devil May Cry. It can never be as good as Devil May Cry. I don't know why people act like that action game was so great. I'm sorry, that crap, I'm sorry, they can't do action games. They can't do it as well as other people. I feel like they can't do it well. Because even in Nier Automata, like the combat after a while, it got very repetitive. And it wasn't the greatest thing in the world. It wasn't as complex as something like a Devil May Cry or like Ninja Gaiden in terms of like difficulty and stuff. But yeah, like that's how I feel about it. Cause like Platinum Games, y'all can't deny they had a lot of stinkers. They got a lot of the stinkers. I mean, for me personally, I feel like all of their projects are pretty much bad, with the exception of Nier Automata. Like I said, Star Fox Zero, trash. Star Fox Scarred, trash. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles games. That game that they made for Activision. I don't even think you can buy that anymore on the PSN and Xbox store. That game disappointed a lot of people. That game and the Legend of Korra game. Like when I heard they were making a Legend of Korra game, then I heard it was made by Platinum, and then we saw it. Very disappointing. That Transformers Devastation. Like since when do Transformers fight like that? Like look at the gameplay. Since when did they fight like that? Like, that's not a good representation of Transformers. The Wonderful 101, that game. Didn't they have the audacity to release the Wonderful 101 the same day as Grand Theft Auto 5 or 4, something like that? It was some big release that they had the audacity to put Wonderful 101 out on the same day, and then y'all surprised that the game didn't sell well. That crap looks stupid anyway. It kind of remind me of, and this might be a weird comparison, Katamari Damacy, however you say that. It reminded me of that game where like you're rolling stuff up in a ball or whatever. Kind of remind me of that for some reason. I don't know if I mentioned Vanquish yet. There's a lot of people that hype that game. There's a lot of people that hype that game up like it was like a cult classic game. I remember playing the demo for Vanquish. I said, this crap is corny, man. They can't even do shooters right. Like, for me, Platinum Games, I don't have faith in Platinum Games. I really don't. Like, I feel like one reason Nier Automata worked, I think Yoko Taro, that dude, he was the director of that game. I feel like a lot of the credit goes to him. Because like I said, I would say one of the big scrimps of Nier Automata was like the story and how engaging it was. But yeah, they have other projects out there. They have Babylon's Fall coming out for PS4 and Windows, World of Demons, but that's on like that's an iOS game. They did work on Grand Blue Fantasy, the RPG, but they're no longer working on that. They were working with Side Games, and they did some work. I guess they were contracted for a limited amount of time, for what I remember reading, and then they just stopped working on it. So I feel like y'all can't even give Platinum credit for that if that game goes good, if that game is good. Scalebound, y'all remember the Scalebound got canceled. That was supposed to be an Xbox One exclusive. That was another, I'll admit that was another Platinum Games that I was interested in. But unfortunately that got canceled, and that game, you can really see, you can look up the gameplay. The game wasn't running good. A lot of people like to fault Microsoft on that, because it seemed like they made them add in multiplayer. But even when you look at the gameplay with just that one dragon on screen, that joint was chugging, like the frame rate wasn't stable. And one other thing I gotta mention, Nier Automata, man. And they said this, you can go and look up the article. Because Nier Automata basically saved this company. Because I feel like if they didn't, I think they even said this in the article, like the game basically saved this company. They would have had to close their doors. I mean, like I said, this is a small company, 211 employees. And just to kind of give you a comparison, something like Capcom, right? Capcom has 2,000 employees. So as you can see, they're a very small company. But like I said, very overrated. I'm trying to figure out what good games do they have. Y'all say Bayonetta's a good game. That game ain't good. That game is not a good hack and slash game. So I'm trying to figure out what good games they have. Why do people speak about Platinum Games like they're Naughty Dog? And like y'all talk about Platinum Games like it's Rockstar. And when I say y'all, I say like some of these Nintendo fans and and you know, certain people like these game journalists, like I mentioned before. But yeah, Platinum Games, very overrated. And you know, I might continue doing some videos like this in the future when I'm just talking about specific companies. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like, I feel like Nier Automata, like I said, Nier Automata, I feel like it's like an 8 or a 9 for me if I had to give it a score. I don't even think I ever did a review for that game, but whatever. But yeah, that's how I feel. Platinum Games, overrated. Thank you guys for watching. Out of here. Peace.